I hate theater. Well, it's so disappointing, isn't it? You know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for the show to begin? I pray. Dear God, please let this be a good show. And let it be short. Oh, Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine. 3 hours is too much. And keep the actors out of the audience? God, I didn't pay good money to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. Just want a story, a few good songs that will take me away. Just want to be entertained. I mean, isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there was a time when people sat in darkened theaters and thought to themselves, what have George and Ira Gershwin got for us tonight? Or, can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you imagine? Now it's just, please, Elton John, must we continue this charade? It used to be, sitting there in the dark, you knew that when the show began, you would be taken to another world, a world of color and music and glamour. And all you could think to yourself was, my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Oh, how things have changed. Hello. How are we today? I'm glad. I'm feeling a little blue myself, a little anxious for no particular reason, a little sad that I feel anxious at this age, a little self-conscious anxiety that results in a non-specific sadness, a state that I call blue. So, when I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music. So, I was going through my records this morning. Yes, records. And I was about to put on the soundtrack recording of Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. But then I thought to myself, no, let's have a treat. Let's disappear for a while into the decadent world of the 1920s, when the champagne flowed and the caviar chilled and all the world was a party. For the wealthy, anyway. So I dug about, and what did I find but one of my favorite shows, Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? You don't. Music by Julie Gable, lyrics by Sidney Stein. It's a 2-record set, remastered from the original recording made back in 1928. It's the full show with the original cast, including Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Isn't she elegant? And this is a full 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Let me read to you what it says on the back. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Of course, the phrase gay wedding has a different meaning now, but back then it just meant fun. And that's what this show is. Fun. So, would you indulge me?
Yes.
Would you let me play the record for you?
Yes.
I was hoping you would say yes. You hear that static? I love that sound. To me, it's the sound of a time machine starting up. All right. Now let's visualize. November 1928, and you just arrived at the doors of Roscoe Theater in New York. It's very cold. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August. It's climate change, we're all doomed. Anyway, it's very cold, and there's a heavy gray sleet falling from the sky. you don't care. You're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't this wonderful? It helps if you close your eyes. Overtures are out of style now. I miss them. They were the show's way of greeting you. Hello, welcome. The meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? That's what overtures are. Musical appetizers. A poo-poo platter of tunes, if you will. Oh, something new. What could it be? Sounds like a dance tune, kind of frolicking. Maybe involving pirates. Don't worry, there are no pirates. Now, this is it. The moment when the music starts to build, and the lights dim, climb back to your seat. Curtains starting to go up. And you sit there and think to yourself, a new Gable and Stein musical. Aren't you excited?
Yes, madam.
How do I look?
You look radiant, Mrs. Sondale.
Oh, I do love this dress so. It never goes out of style.
It's a miracle, madam.
My dress, my fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I put it on?
Yes, your dress, your fancy dress. Was such a pleasure airing it, restitching and repairing it. God bless your dress, it's one fine dress, and I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Madam, you're the hostess and it's happy wedding time. Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will gong. Wedding bells will ding-a-ling and we will ding along. We're very, very glad you put it on. Wedding guests have come. Wedding guests are here. Wedding guests are at the door and soon they will appear.
I'm Robert, the bridegroom. I'm here to marry Janet and star of Celtic's follies, whom I love a lot.
I'm George, that's George, his best man George. I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought. Mrs. Tondale. Don't worry, I have this whole wedding planned out. The key is organization, see? Each string represents a task yet to be completed. Head musicians, yell the force, book the minister. This wedding's going to run like clockwork.
Is there going to be a wedding?
I lost my leading thing. I gotta stop this wedding or I might get shot.
I'm kidding, just kidding. I gave him this proposal. I'll be a little lady if I get my shot.
We're pastry chefs. You cross our heart, we're pastry chefs. No bakery.
A bakery is what we got.
Aldolpho, my name is Aldolpho. I am the king of romance, so I kiss a lot.
You are the king of romance, so you kiss a lot. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Wedding bells will celebrate our happy wedding time. Someone hasn't come, someone isn't here. Where is Janet Vandergraff and when will she appear? It's Janet Vandergraff.
I'm Janet
A wedding, how gay.
I think I brought my own.
A wedding today.
Cake makes me drowsy.
It's really happening, truly happening, almost happening, boy, it's happening.
And tricks, the 88 tricks, queen of the sky. I circle through the stratus in my mind apparatus. And tricks, the 88 tricks, I've gotta fly. I'll see you when they tie the knot.
A wedding today. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. A wedding's coming our way.
Well, there you have it. Oh, yes, you're right. We have a bride who's giving up the stage for love, a debonair bridegroom, a heritage producer, jovial gangsters posing as pastry chefs, flaky Corrine, a Latin DiCaprio, and an aviatrix, what we now call a lesbian. And of course, my favorite character, the Drowsy Chaperone. What more do you need from the evening's entertainment? Wasn't that wonderful? And we will ding along. I don't even know what that means. All right, I'll lead you through this record as best I can. Don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. So, we begin with a welcome from the love-struck groom.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you all for coming. I tell you, I must be some lucky fella. Why, who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl, and that glamorous showgirl would be willing to give up a successful career for me, Robert Martin. Now, if it weren't for prohibition, I say let's raise a glass
Here.
to Miss Janet Vandegraff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not.
Excuse me?
The groom mustn't see his bride on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
I hope you heard that because that's the plot. Basically. Hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the Arabian room.
Say, it's a little early in the day to be drinking, isn't it?
I don't understand the question.
Look, you keep Janet away from Robert, you understand? You're the chaperone. That's her only job.
Aye, mon Capitan.
Oh, Robert, who's my little monkey?
I'm your little monkey.
So, the bride and groom are whisked away, and we turn our attention to the B plot, which involves the producer.
Mr. Falzey.
Getting married and leaving show business?
Mr. Falzey.
Doesn't she know I got obligations?
Mr. Falzey. I can be a leading lady. Like you said, I'm useless in the chorus.
Katie, for the last time, you don't got what it takes.
But I've been taking lessons. Acting, singing, ballet.
Ballet.
I'm pretty good at it too. Last week I auditioned for Swanee Lake.
A little annotation. Kitty and Feldzig were played by a real-life couple, Jack and Sadie Adler. Now, this is a familiar comic construct of a stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. Well, she appears stupid, but in the end she does something clever that makes everyone wonder whether it was all just an act. The irony here is that Sadie was actually quite stupid. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently. But still, she had a wonderful career on the stage. At that time, the theater was the only place where stupid people could make a decent living. This was before television, of course.
Katie, I don't have time for this.
Appetite for Mr. Feldzig? Perhaps a nice profiterole.
Boys, I'm not hungry.
Then perhaps we can get you something else that you want.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
What?
Your confusion is to be expected. Although we stand before you in the guise of innocent, Pastry chefs, we are also
And primarily,
employees of a certain individual.
A certain individual?
a certain individual.
Who just so happens to be the single largest investor in Felsick's files. He has sent us here
As pastry chefs,
to express his concern of Miss Van de Graaff's impending book deal.
specifically,
That if she were to get married and leave the show,
then there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
no, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo?
Have you ever been in a coma?
No, but I have a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty! Boys, now you tell your boss this. This wedding is never gonna happen. You have my word.
Oh, we'll take your word, all right.
But to go back on that wood, now that will be a recipe for disaster. I hope we have made ourselves perfectly clear.
One can only hope.
You just gotta be kidding me.
A trifle much?
Don't part with me.
All right, drop the pastry chef routine.
Ellis, we get it.
We're on the lam.
A lamb's an entree, you macaron.
The gangsters were played by interchangeable vaudeville duo, the Good-Looking Brothers, John and Peter Goodlooking. They were born Abram and Mendel Wisławskiewicz, but were renamed at Ellis Island by a sarcastic immigration official. They were an early example of your typical Broadway gangster, full of wordplay and stylized movements. Not very intimidating. Unless you find dancers intimidating, which I do, but for reasons that are not appropriate for this situation.
Well, Mr. Felsick, the bet is in your hands now. In the meantime, feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo Surprise. It's to die for.
Holy cats, Mr. Felsick, the gangsters!
Very perceptive. Now go pat your face. Oh, I gotta stop this wedding, but how? Oh, Lord in heaven, how? How?
I always thought that moment was a little overplayed. So, with the story well on its way, let's go to the groom's room.
Hey there, handsome. Show me those pearly whites.
The groom was played by the dashing Percy Hyman, and he got his start as the Albright toothpaste man. His fabulous smile adorned every tube. Albright was hugely popular in the early 20s because it contained cocaine. It's true. If you look on the label, it's listed as the 5th ingredient, right under sugar. Anyway, it wasn't long before he became a huge matinee idol.
Now, don't you worry. It's perfectly normal for a groom to be nervous on his wedding day. It is, of course.
I love Percy Hyman. Some people say he was a bad actor, and to those people I say, shut up.
Hey there, Mr. Mirrorman. Shaking and a-quaking, trembling like the Brady cats do. Something big be bothering you. Cold feet, brother, you've got cold feet. You can make them cold feet hot with the little rhythm. Young feet, old feet can be uncontrolled feet. You can make them cold feet trot down the aisle. Frosty arches, they can learn to swing. Icy toes can jive. Wedding marches played in ragtime swing make frigid souls come alive and take that dive. Cold beats, turn them into cold beats. Rhythm make them cold beats.
for my boy, you backstabbing worm. Now I have to find a new minister. Say, what are you up to?
I'm singing a song and old dance on me. A Dixie remedy for wedding day jitters.
You think you got the jitters? You got the easy part. I still got to get rice, boutonnieres, a minister. I have the weight of the wedding on my shoulders.
George, it sounds like you've got cold feet.
What do I got?
Cold feet.
What do I want?
Bold feet.
What do I do? Cold feet? No!
You make the cold feet hot. A 5, 6, 7, 8. Cold feet, cold feet. Turn them into cold feet. Rhythm make them cold feet. Make cold feet hot. Coffee's hot.
Percy Hyman was a wonderful performer. I like to think of him panting and sweating after a long dance routine. He's still alive, you know. I saw him on the news recently celebrating his 100th birthday. To say the passing years had taken their toll on him would be a grotesque understatement. They wheeled him out and he had one of those wide-eyed expressions of pained confusion that God only reserves for the very, very old on their birthdays. You know, one that says, "Who are you? Who am I? Why is the cake on fire?" You know what I'm talking about? Anyway.
All right. That's enough of that dancing around like a fool.
Sorry, George, I was just trying to calm my nerves. It is my wedding day, after all.
You could have snapped an ankle. Tap dancing is too dangerous. Huh. Why don't you go out for a skate instead?
George, what would I do without you?
Wait a minute. Oh, no. You are not going out like that, my friend. You might see Jenny. Put on this blindfold.
Oh. George, you think of everything.
Just looking out for you, my boy. And no more tap dancing. wedding bells will shine. Celebrate!
Just ignore it. It does this thing. It'll ring. It'll stop. Hello. You've reached my answering machine. Please leave a short message and I'll call you back at my convenience. Well, there it is. The moment's ruined. Like a cell phone going off in a theater. God, I hate that. Hello, what are you doing? Oh, I'm at the theater ruining the moment. How about you? Oh, I couldn't get out tonight, so I thought I'd ruin the moment by proxy. Sorry, let's just shake that off. Let's travel back to 1928. They didn't have cell phones in 1928. Although I'm sure they had something for ruining the moment. Bugles or something.
Happy wedding time!
So, the scene shifts, and we find the bride, the glamorous Janet Van de Graaff, entertaining questions from reporters as she lounges by the pool.
Miss Van de Graaff, is it true that you're giving up a successful career to marry a man you hardly know?
Yes. Robert and I met on the Lido deck of the Ile de France. He amused me with stories of his father's oil interests. We spooned briefly, and then he proposed.
So, you won't go back to the stage? Ever?
I shan't.
You shan't.
I shan't. Can we quote you on that?
Of course. One more question. Yes.
Why in the world would anyone put olives in a kitchen?
I've got a question. How can you give up the footlights when you know very well that you've got grease paint in your veins?
Victor, please.
Oh, Janet, I'm begging you. Dump the mug, stay with the boys. I'll give you anything you want.
Oh, fine. I'll even put your name above mine on the marquee.
Oh, Victor. If you think this is about vanity, you couldn't be more wrong. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride moons no more. I don't want to show off. I don't want to wear this no more. Play the saucy Swiss miss no more. Blow my signature no more. I don't want to show off. Don't try to control me. I've made up my mind, and that's it. I quit. I'm leaving it all behind. I don't want to be cute no more. Make the gentleman boot no more. I don't want to wear fruit no more. I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off no more.
Not me.
Read it in the news no more.
Pastry.
Get the glory reviews no more.
I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off.
I don't want to show off.
She don't want to show off no more. Off no more.
Not me. Whee!
life on stage.
Can't you see it's killing her soul?
Don't worry, boys. This isn't over yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't do an encore.
I don't want an encore no more. Keep on shouting for more. Disappear from the floor no more. I don't want a show.
That was Jane Roberts as the bride. She was the Oops girl, remember? Surely you remember the Oops girl. Don't you people read? She was billed as the girl whose sexual energy was so great that it caused men around her to have accidents, spill their drinks, drive their cars into trees. All she would say was, oops. Well, I'm not doing it justice, but people ate it up. She made a whole series of films. Oops, the Oops Girl Come Home, Oops Girl at Sea, which won an Oscar for special effects.
Okay. Begging and groveling didn't work. On to plan B. And for that, I'm gonna need an accomplice. Someone gullible and with loose morals. I need a, what do you call him? A European!
In walks Aldolpho, self-proclaimed ladies' man. Aldolpho was played by former silent film star and world-class alcoholic Roman Bartelli. He was the one who later drank himself to death in his chateau in Nice. Remember? 5 days before they found the body, and by that time he had been partially consumed by his poodles. Well, he was only partially consumed.
Excuse me, I don't believe we've met.
I am. Aldolpho.
You are Aldolpho?
Yes, I am. Aldolpho.
Not the Aldolpho.
Yes, I am. Aldolpho.
Funny, you don't look like a scoundrel.
Yes. What?
Well, it's just now that I overheard the groom saying Aldolpho's a scoundrel. I heard him say that.
What? Aldolpho, a scoundrel.
Those very words.
Aldolpho is a scoundrel.
It's like I'm hearing it again.
Why, this is outrageous. He is saying this to people, to beautiful ladies with breasts for making love. Why, I must.
You must take matters into your own hands.
Yes, I must take this room into my hands and kill him.
Yes! No! Don't kill him. Just hurt him enough so he can't get married.
Show me to this groom.
Wait, what?
What kind of man is this groom? A big man?
Well,
A burly fellow?
well, he's big on the outside.
No. Aldolpho will not fight big men. Small, little, pale fellows that Aldolpho can punt far away. But no big men.
So you're a lover, not a fighter.
Yes, Aldolpho is a lover of beautiful ladies. Some say I am the king of romance.
Well, you know what they said. The best way to get revenge on a man is through his...
Door.
No. The best way to get revenge on a man is through his window. No. Revenge. Back at a man through his...
There is no other way. I am not Santa Claus climbing down chimney.
Through his woman!
Ah, his woman.
Yes, Aldolpho. You must seduce his woman!
His woman.
His bride.
Aldolpho will make love to the bride. That will show people Aldolpho is no scoundrel. Show me to this bride. Wait,
What?
what kind of woman is this bride? A big woman?
No?
A burly woman?
No, she's the cat's pajamas.
Pajamas.
She's an attractive woman. She's a looker.
Ah, show me to this cat in pajamas. Aldolpho will make her.
Stop it!
Like a cat in pajamas.
Ah!
Bartelli chewing the scenery. You certainly couldn't get away with a performance like that nowadays, could you? Mature, contemporary audiences are too sophisticated to enjoy broad racial stereotypes portrayed on the stage. So we've banished them to Disney. Let the children sort it out.
Underling.
Yes, madam.
The pastry chefs have been kind enough to provide the liquor for the party. But remember, Underling, we have to be discreet.
Yes, madam.
It is prohibition after all.
I'm aware of that, madam.
We'll have to come up with code words. For instance, if someone asks for a glass of ice water, it means they want a glass of vodka. Have you got that?
Yes, madam.
Are you sure? Maybe you should write it down.
I understand. A glass of ice water is a glass of vodka.
What's a glass of ice water?
Vodka.
Ice water.
Vodka.
Ice.
Vodka.
Well, you see, that's settled then. One less thing to do. Underling, might I please have a glass of ice water? I found our meetings with the pastry chefs rather trying. I would enjoy a glass of refreshing ice water.
Your ice water, madam.
That was pure vodka, you poop!
I hate this scene.
Well, now I do need a glass of ice water.
Ice water, madam?
Yes, are you going deaf?
Would that I were.
You can see where this is going, can't you? It's just a series of spit takes.
Your ice water, madam.
That was vodka, you poop!
You know, in some ways, the Drowsy Chaperone was quite progressive. Casting a black actress as Kitty, for instance.
Your ice water, madam.
That was pure vodka, you poop!
Yes, some elements were quite progressive. Others were stale in 1928. You know what? I'm going to skip ahead.
Oh! Where do you think you are going?
To find some lime juice, madam.
Lime juice, for heaven's sakes, why?
I'm going to wring out my eyebrows and make myself a gimlet.
Now you're probably asking yourself, what was that routine doing in the show? It's very simple. There's a song coming up and they needed something to allow for the set change. It's mechanics. It's like one of those adult films. Let me explain what I mean by that. In an adult film, the stories are simplistic. How am I gonna pay for this pizza? Being a classic example. My point is, in a musical, the story only exists to engage the longer, more engaging production numbers. What? Well, what kind of society do we live in if we cannot discuss the similarities between an adult film and musical theater?
In a few hours, I'm going to be Mrs. Robert Martin. Oh, my head is spinning.
Yes, life is mad whirlwind.
Now, this is a really interesting scene. This is the only time in the show that Jane Roberts and Beatrice Stockwell are alone on the stage together. Now, Jane Roberts was an emerging star, but Beatrice Stockwell was already well established and a force to contend with.
I'm so full of apprehensions. But I suppose that's normal, given the circumstances. Have you ever been married, Chaperone?
No, I drink for pleasure, not out of necessity.
Your ice water, madam. I'm afraid we're fresh out of ours.
Have you ever been married, Underling?
Heavens no, madam. If I'm going to serve a woman, I prefer to be paid for my efforts.
You too. I know it sounds crazy to give up a successful career to marry a man I hardly know, but when I look into his eyes, his big monkey eyes, oh gee, I get all woozy. And I suppose that's love, isn't it?
Not necessarily. The wooziness can be caused by any number of things. I mean, I'm woozy right now, and I'm certainly not in love.
Now, Beatrice Stockwell was famous for her rousing anthems. She entertained and inspired troops of every major world conflict up to and including the Falklands War. Of course, by that time, she was in her late 80s, and her anthems didn't so much rouse as stupefy. But still, she demanded that a rousing anthem be included in every show she ever did, even if it wasn't appropriate. You just couldn't say no to her. That's star power.
Really, you're not being the least bit helpful. Couldn't you at least allay my fears with a few choice words of inspiration?
Inspiration? Really? Dear, it's not my forte.
Yes, but if you just say something. As we stumble along on life's fun journey, as we stumble along into the blue, we look here and we look there, seeking answers anywhere, never sure of where to turn or what to do. Still we bumble our way through life's crazy land, barely knowing left from right or right from wrong. And the best that we can do is hope the bluebird will sing a song as we stumble along. That was quite nice, Chaperone. That was quite nice, but I don't see how it pertains to my situation.
Let me explain.
Oh, really? That is not necessary, Chaperone. I just wanted something sympathetic.
It's a dismal little world in which we live. It can bore you till you've nothing left to give. 7 overrated wonders, 7 underwhelming seas, 6 excruciating continents, Antarctica. Oh, please.
Antarctica. Oh, please.
Still, you mustn't let it lick you. This planet, oh so bland. Keep your eyeball on the ball in your hand. As we stumble along, cross life's crowded dance floors, as we push and we shove, we live and we learn. And when we find
basically sings a rousing anthem about alcoholism. That's what I love about her. She just does her own thing when she wants, regardless of the needs and concerns of others. My mother was like that.
That was quite inspiring, Chaperone, but I'm still conflicted. Please, just tell me, is Robert the man I'm supposed to marry?
My dear, put something up and decide for yourself.
But I just need to know if he loves me.
Why don't you ask him? Why don't you say, Roger, do you love me?
It's Robert. I'm not supposed to see him. In fact, you're supposed to be seeing him.
You're right. And I take that responsibility very seriously. It's just at this moment I'm feeling terribly, terribly drowsy, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to have a lie down. Now, whatever you do, don't go wandering in the garden at night, seeking out your fiancé to ask him the question upon your future happiness depends.
Oh, thank you, Chaperone. I just need to know if he loves me.
Such a skinny little fool. Still, I envy her. Oh, my beloved come crashing through my door.
La la.
Look who it is! It's Aldolpho, come to seduce the bride.
I am. Aldolpho.
Try not to think of the poodles while you're listening to this part.
I am. Aldolpho. And you are bride.
No, I am not.
What? This is bridal sweets. You are the only one here. Therefore, you must be bride.
Interesting argument, but I'm afraid you are a moron.
What?
Me, no bride. Perhaps I can take a message.
Yes, very good. Dear Van de Graaf bride, I must make love to you and transport you to the place of ecstasy. Sooner is better. Signed, Aldolpho, King of Romance.
Well, you saw through my little ruse. You found me out.
Ah, so you are the bride.
Apparently, yes. Take me out, doll face.
No, no, no. Not Aldolpho. Aldolpho. You must remember my name for when we are making love and you are screaming. You must say the right name or it will spoil everything. How can I make you remember? I'm sure that you have heard the name Aldolpho, a ladies' man who wins acclaim Aldolpho. Well, lovely miss, I am the same Aldolpho. I introduce myself. I am Aldolpho.
Nice to meet you. Shall we?
Not so fast. So just in case you didn't hear Aldolpho, I'll try to make it very clear Aldolpho. The lovely ladies always cheer Aldolpho. When I repeat myself, I am Aldolpho. I can sing it high, Aldolpho. I can sing it low, Aldolpho. I can sing it very fast, oh! I can sing it very slowly. I do it now, but it would take. Ah! Now let us see if you can remember my name.
I'll give it a shot.
Now who's the fella that you've seen?
Aldolpho.
And how should you refer to me?
Aldolpho.
And who is it I'll always be?
Aldolpho.
Now sing it proudly.
You are Aldolpho.
some reason, because maybe you were hard of hearing or something. I don't know. It goes. Da ha 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 ha. I am Aldolpho. Aldolpho.
That was my mother's favorite number in the show. I think it was her secret fantasy to be swept off her feet by a Latin lover. I mean a real Latin lover, not a buffoon. But that's what musicals are all about, right? Romantic fantasy. Falling in love at the drop of a hat. Spontaneous tangoing. Suddenly finding yourself in an insanely romantic setting.
I'm an accident waiting to happen. Da 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 da.
Robert, look out!
Oh, don't worry, ma'am. I'm getting married today, so I have to wear a blindfold.
A blindfold?
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to, anyhow?
Why, it's me. I mean, Mimi. Mimi from France.
This scene couldn't be more ridiculous.
You are marrying Janet Van de Graaff, no?
Oui.
I hear she is very beautiful.
Oui.
And glamorous.
Ah, oui, oui.
I hear she has an exceptionally broad range and excels at playing both comedic and dramatic roles.
Say, I'm having trouble placing your accent. What part of France did you say you were from?
Oh, the middle part where they make the toast. So you were telling me about your, how do you say it in English? Fiancé?
That's right.
Well, tell me, when was the moment when you knew that she was the only one for you?
It's a funny story, actually. We were standing on the Lido Decadeo de France. I was amusing her with stories of my father's oil interests.
And then what happened?
I looked into her eyes, her big, glamorous, gorgeous eyes, and I felt all woozy.
And then you fell. And then you fell?
Yes, right on my keister, I said. Well, I guess I don't have my sea legs yet.
But we haven't left the dock.
That's what she said. And that's when I knew it must be love.
And then what happened?
And then I said, there was a time I could stop on a dime. Forbearance was one of my talents. But since you've been around, I can't find my ground. I'm consistently losing my balance. I'm an accident waiting to happen. I'm a mishap about to ensue. I'm the toy on the stair, the three-legged chair, a hand that's been caught by a shoe. When my two lovesick arms started flapping, there was nothing my ankles could do. I'm an accident waiting to happen. So how be I happen to you?
When men say I'm sweet and they fall at my feet, my heart doesn't beat any faster. But when you lose control, it touches my soul. So I'm bracing myself or disaster. Not an accident waiting to happen. A catastrophe destined to be.
That's me. I'm the rags in the cellar.
A broken umbrella, a branch hanging loose from a tree. I can see myself jumping and clapping for a man who lives dangerously, or an accident waiting to happen. So hurry and happen to me. You're an accident waiting to happen. So hurry and happen to me. And then what happened?
And then we kiss.
Wait a minute. You kissed a strange French girl on your wedding day?
Oh no! What have I done? Wait!
Well, it appears that the blindfold and fake French accent have led to a terrible misunderstanding. What a mess! Will it all work out in the end? Of course it will. It's a musical. It's not real. Everything always works out in musicals. In the real world, nothing ever works out. The only people who burst into song are the hopelessly deranged.
Mr. Fauci.
Where's that philandering foreigner?
Mr. Fauci.
How long can it take to seduce one bride?
Mr. Fauci, you don't need Janet no more.
Kitty, not now.
I've been working on a mind reading act. Presenting Kitty, the incomprehensible! Now think of something.
Oh, I'm thinking of something, all right.
Wait, I'm getting it. Get some milk and a loaf of rye bread. And don't forget to shave your legs.
You're reading your own mind, you idiot!
Oh, no wonder it's so easy.
Mr. Felsley, it would seem that the wedding is proceeding according to schedule. It's time you receive your just desserts. What do you say, partner? Should we whip up something special for Mr. Felsley?
Yeah. How about a Toledo Surprise?
Ah, an inspired choice.
A Toledo Surprise? I've never heard of that.
No, you haven't. You see, those who have heard of it are generally never heard from of again.
We'll share the recipe with you.
First, you chop the nuts,
Then you pound the dough.
and you bake it up nice and slow.
And then you got your Toledo Surprise!
Could you run that by me again?
It's a very simple recipe, Mr. Feldzig.
First, you chop the nuts,
Then you pound the dough. Then you bake it up nice and slow. And then you got your Toledo Surprise!
say, why don't we give him a little taste?
All right.
Hold it! What style, what grace, what rhythm? Open your hands. Now shake them. Now give me that recipe one more time. Da-da-da-da-da-da, go!
Chop the nuts, pound the dough, bake it up nice and slow. Then you got a Toledo Surprise.
Sell it.
Pick the peach, peel the skin, push it up, throw it in. That's a tasty Toledo Surprise. First you beat it up, then you sweeten it up. When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, don't let it, it's a snap. Try it, folks, with your whites, split your yolks, then you got a Splendido Toledo Surprise.
You boys are natural.
Honest?
Keep it up. I'll go work on the contracts. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mr. Fauci, what's going on here?
Kitty, I'm developing a new act.
Toledo Surprise.
You're putting gangsters in the show, but you won't put me in it? They're not even in the union!
You got it all wrong. This new act, it's for you, Kitty. And these boys are your backup dancers.
Backup Well, that hot Toledo does my libido. God, yes, Tito, sugary yum yum. Surprise! Squeeze the cream, grease the pan, lick the spoon, flip the plan, mix the mustard tuxedo. Toledo surprise!
Wait, Aldolpho, he make announcements.
The wedding is off.
What, for the love of God, why? Aldolpho has made love to the bride.
That is not the bride, you idiot. That is the chaperone. The wedding is on.
The wedding is off.
What?
Robert kissed a French girl. Her name is Mimi. She's very beautiful.
Janet, she was just like you, only French.
Sweet mother of pearl.
Underling.
Yes, madam.
What is all this commotion about?
The wedding, madam.
Oh, is there going to be a wedding?
Not anymore. Oh, what a tragedy. What a wonderful, wonderful tragedy. Clear the phone, boys. I'll show you how it's done. First you beat it up, then you sweet it up. When you heat it up, if it tries to rise, don't let it. Toledo surprise.
Surprise.
Wait till it's ready.
Surprise.
Wait till it's ready.
Surprise.
Wait till it's ready.
Now it's looking ready. Surprise!
You got
Makes me twitch, makes me shake. This dessert tastes the cake. Makes me like a torpedo. Toledo surprise.
Toledo surprise. Toledo surprise. Surprise.
Surprise! Where'd everybody go?
Surprise!
Shut the knives, pound the dough, bake it up, nice and slow. And you got a Toledo, Toledo surprise. Then you got a Toledo, 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 then you got a Toledo. Surprise! Wait till it's ready, surprise! Wait till it's ready, surprise! That's a tasty Toledo surprise!
Why are we dancing? Her dreams are in tatters.
Yes, but the tune, it's so infectious.
Oh, Robert, this is the saddest day of my life.
Wedding bells won't ring, wedding bells won't chime. They will never celebrate a happy wedding time.
And that's that. The curtain has fallen and it's time for the intermission. At least it would be if we were actually sitting in the Morosco Theater watching the Drowsy Chaperone, which of course, we are not. I don't like intermissions. They ruin the magic, you know? They yank you back into reality. One moment you're lost in a world of music and romance, and then bang! You're surrounded by tourists. Crinkling candy wrappers and the general natterings about the lack of women's restrooms. It's cruel. bit of a blood sugar issue. I have to eat small meals throughout the day or else I get jittery. I know it's rude, but you wouldn't like the alternative, believe you me. Believe you me. I remember my wedding day. I didn't have breakfast, and the ceremony wasn't until 4 in the afternoon. I do. Does it surprise you that I was married? Well, there you have it. You shouldn't go around making assumptions about people, should you? I'm a very complicated person. I have to pee now. I'll be quick, and while I'm gone, you can go pee too. Go pee.
Nightingale song.
I bring a message from a nightingale.
Nightingale. Oh. You know about Emperor and American lady no see eye to eye.
But Emperor, sometimes a different outlook can change your point of view.
What?
Precisely. What is it about the Asians that fascinates Caucasians? What is it about the Asians that's so nice? Is it the wontons, the egg rolls, the rice? Perhaps it's Buddha or Confucius and their excellent advice.
What is it about Caucasians that mystifies the Asians? What is it about Caucasians that's so odd? They call the pretty lady abroad. They have hair on their chest, and they only have one god. Impossible. What?
Sorry, that song was not from the Drowsy Chaperone. It's from another musical entirely. I have a woman who comes in once a month. Can you say that? I have a woman? Anyway, she's very good, and she has a nasty habit putting away my records in the wrong sleeves. Even though I tell her, no touch records, Carmela, no touch records. I suppose if I spoke to her in complete sentences, she might not touch my records. Anyway, that was the beginning of Act 2 for another Gable and Stein show, The Enchanted Nightingale. A degrading piece of chinoiserie about an emperor who is told by a magic bird to marry his American elocutionist instead of his betrothed, and he ends up building the Great Wall of China. A slap in the face to 4,000 years of Chinese history. But it had some wonderful tunes. That was Beatrice Stockwell as American lady. And did you recognize Roman Bartelli as the emperor? Yes, he was a man of 1,000 accents, all of them insulting. Act 2 of The Drowsy Chaperone begins with this. A haunting lament from a very depressed bride. She sings it standing on her balcony, bathed in the pale blue light of a sympathetic moon, which is ridiculous because it's the middle of the day. Now, while you're listening to this, try and ignore the lyrics. I know it'll be difficult, but block them out. They're not the best. But the tune's beautiful and it truly communicates the bride's state of mind.
I put a monkey on a pedestal and tried to make that monkey stay. And he did for a time, but he needed to come and with other monkeys play. For when he left his jacket on that pedestal beside his tiny rusty cup, and I haven't got the strength to pick her up. Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always save that pedestal for you.
Just gonna pour myself a brandy.
Come, my little monkey, come, my little monkey.
The melody is so simple, it just floats in the air. And I must confess, I always get a little misty when I think about that tiny jacket lying on a pedestal, its long sleeves dangling on the floor.
Oh, monkey, 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 you broke my heart in two. But I'll always save that pedestal for you. Come, my little monkey, come, my little monkey.
Great. Now here we go.
Wait a minute.
Who are you?
I'm Jenny Vandergraft.
Do you need anyone?
I don't need anyone.
What about the love of one man?
Who cares about the love of one man when I am adored by millions? Do I need to be so gloomy? No, no, no. I could rule the world if so I chose. Secret poisons flowers to me every show. Curtains die, she handed me a rose.
Now she really lets go.
I'm Janet Vandergraft. Ain't no nail that I can't hammer. Why give up a life of glamour? Life of glamour, life of glamour. No! Monkey.
I love this part. She's having a complete mental breakdown.
Monkey, with an axe, into my bed. I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to spread mirth no more. Be the greatest on earth no more. I don't wanna. Sure, Janet, future is secure, Janet, millions do just fine. Any future I could ever care to shade. Ever enough.
Story of a monkey gone astray.
I ask
Monkey, monkey,
the stars
monkey, monkey.
above. Is it the monkey or my pedestal?
Monkey on a pedestal.
number. It has everything. A little Busby Berkeley, a little Jane Goodall. That's another thing I love about musicals in general. When characters are in crisis, they sing and they dance, which is so much more interesting than just whining about it. But that's the glory of musical theater. Oh, you see, this is what I was talking about. This is right. You manage the actors for 5 seconds and then something starts ringing.
What a beautiful day for a wedding.
Shall I have the pews moved now, madam? For a night in the morning.
Okay. Here we have two vaudeville performers who have managed to slip through the cracks of time. They are Noel Fitzpatrick and Ukulele Lil. I know nothing about them. I suppose Ukulele Lil played the ukulele, although she doesn't in this show. You know, I tried to do more research on her. I looked at all my books. I even tried the internet, but all my searches ended with Tiny Tim's autopsy photographs. Anyway, they're both charming.
Why would you have the pews removed?
The bride has called off the wedding, madam.
Oh, underling, never listen to a bride on her wedding day. Love is a very complex emotion, underling.
Yes, madam.
You can be very close with someone 1 minute, and the next why you just want to strangle them. Do you understand?
Yes, I'm familiar with the urge to strangle.
You see, that's just the nature of love. Love makes lovers worry, love makes lovers fret. But here's a fact on which we can depend. Just like long ago when Romeo loved Juliet, love is always lovely in the end.
Romeo and Juliet was a tragedy, madam.
Oh, I never read reviews. Love can start a quarrel, love can cause a din, but love has always been a trusty friend. 'Twas a happy fate for Hank VIII and Anne Boleyn. Love is always lovely in the end.
Might I remind you, madam, Anne Boleyn lost her head.
Yes, she was in love. Love was good to Eve and Adam.
Here we go again.
In Samson and Delilah too.
Good grief, might I pose a question, madam?
Why, yes, of course.
Why does nothing I say to you ever through?
Don't mind if I do. Love is always lovely in the end. Love sneaks up behind you, love drops from above, but love would never consciously offend. Love has certainly been kind to me in my true love. Love is always lovely in the end.
But your late husband was a brute.
I don't mean him, you silly goose.
No, madam.
Love is always lovely.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Love is always lovely in the end. Love is always lovely in the end.
Yes, that was charming. But to be frank, on some level, that number pisses me off. Now, I'm going to say something here, and yes, I have been drinking, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that love is not always lovely in the end. Often in the end, there are lawyers. And another thing, surely someone was aware of the awkward sexual connotation of that title, right? love is always lovely in the end. I mean, is it just me? What I'm trying to say is that number is naive, and irresponsibly so. Sorry. Just thought that needed to be said for the benefit of the young people. I won't interrupt anymore. Oh, there's a moment coming up that I've become obsessed with.
Oh, there you are, Chaperone. I'm in a terrible state. You certainly are. You can't go to the wedding looking like that. You poor dear. You haven't heard? The wedding's been called off. Not your wedding. Mine. Oh, that reminds me. Might I borrow your veil?
We're getting married. But to whom?
La la. Ah, beautiful lady. That's the expression.
You're marrying Aldolpho?
I know it's surprising, but when I look into his eyes, his big, clumsy eyes, I get all drowsy, and that's love, isn't it?
Yes, dear. That is love. Help me.
There you are. There you are. Now I'm going to lay all my cards on the table. I've got a weak heart. Can't take this pressure. If this goes on any longer, the old ticker's going to get out. So please tell me, is there going to be a wedding or not?
Yes.
Thank the good Lord in heaven.
Aldolpho and the chaperone are getting married.
What?
There you are. I have wonderful news. There's going to be a wedding.
We know.
You know.
Yes, we just heard.
But who told you?
I did.
But how do you know?
What difference does it make? Mrs. Tottenham and I are going to be married at 7:30 this evening in the garden. What?
What? Oh, yes.
Congratulations to everyone.
What kind of cockamamie wedding is this? Everyone except the bride and groom are getting married.
There you are. Oh, Janet, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hello, Mr. Martin.
Oh, please don't be that way. Can't you find it somewhere in your heart to marry me? Janet, it's our wedding day. George has gone through all this trouble, and I do love you more than I can say.
You kissed another woman.
Yes, and I just can't understand it, and I know this may sound ridiculous. When I was kissing that French girl, life was just like kissing you.
Robert, you were kissing me.
You mean you're Mimi? Well, that French accent is remarkably accurate.
Why, thank you. I developed it while I was playing the role of Monique in Hold That Baguette.
There you are. Before you do anything, think about this. No matter how well you play the role of the happy wife, you'll never, ever get a standing ovation again.
I don't know. I'm just so confused. Oh, chaperone. Please, I beg you, just this once, give me some advice that is coherent and appropriate to the situation. Should I marry Robert?
Okay, now here it is. The moment I was talking about before. Not only the culmination of the plot, but a moment that has fascinated me more than any other, has kept me coming back to this record again and again. Here it is.
Well, my advice to you is,
And this is it, listen.
do all you can.
You see, you can't quite make out what she says because someone drops a cane. I'll play it for you again.
Do all you can.
Is she saying live while you can or leave while you can?
Do all you can.
I mean, it's Beatrice Stockwell, so it makes me a cynical quip, but this is a wedding after all, and that's exactly what you think when you're standing there at the altar, isn't it? Live or leave. And you live, right? I mean, you do love her in some way. It's not an exact science. An arrow doesn't come down out of the sky pointing at who you're supposed to be with. And so one day you say it to someone and you say, I love you? And you basically phrase it as a question, but they accept it as fact. And then suddenly, there she is, standing in front of you in a $3,000 dress with tears in her eyes, and her nephew's made the chuppa. So what do? Say, I was kidding? I was joking? No, you can't. You live, right? You choose to live. So for the next few months, you're staring at the alien form in bed beside you, thinking to yourself, who are you? Who are you? And then one day you say it out loud, and then there's a trial separation and couples counseling, and every conversation is about her eating disorder and your Zoloft addiction. You're constantly redefining, reevaluating, and revisiting before you eventually lose the deposit on the house, and the whole relationship ends on a particularly ugly note of your one and only copy of Gypsy spinning through the air and smashing against the living room wall. But in the larger sense, in the broader sense, it's better to have lived than left. Right?
It's all you can.
You have no idea how many times I've listened to that.
Chaperone, you have such a way with words. Robert, my answer is yes. I will marry you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Mr. Felting, it seems as if the wedding's a done deal.
Now you're in trouble.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
But there is. I found a replacement, a new leading lady. Introducing Kitty the Incredible! Now, Kitty, show these boys how you can read my mind. My mind.
Kitty, will you marry me?
Holy cats, Mr. Felsick, yes!
Isn't she amazing?
What are you ladies waiting for? You ladies go put on your frillies. We'll all get married in one big clump. That's how they do it in Utah.
Well, George, I don't know how you managed to pull it off. 4 weddings in one day? I guess you're everybody's best man now.
I am?
Of course you
I am!
Hip hip
Hooray!
Hip hip
Hooray!
Hip hip
Hooray! He's George, that's George, the best man, George.
I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought.
He's basking in the glory of a fight well fought. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding time. Wedding bells will celebrate a happy wedding.
Minister, you may begin. Wait a minute, I forgot the minister! Who the hell are you?
I'm Trix, the ABA Trix, queen of the sky. In Rio, I was landing when my engine needed mending. I'll fix my navigatrix, and then I'll fly, and I'll let you lovers tie the knot. Sorry to crash the party, folks, but we'll have this fixed in 2 shakes, and then it's off to Rio for Carnival.
Wait, the captain of a ship can perform a marriage.
And a pilot is comparable to a captain.
An airplane is a kind of ship. It's a ship in the air. Some call it an air ship.
Oh shit! Yes!
Wait, I got it! Trix, you can marry them on the plane and we can have our honeymoon in Rio!
A bride and groom in a chapel may bring a tear to the eye, but what a thrill when a lovebird trill I do in the sky, when the vows are said in a meadow,
inquiring. Just keep the show alive in your mind. Stay focused. There's that flesh. All right, got it. Aha! All right. Now, don't talk to anyone. Don't let yourselves get distracted. I'll find the fuse box. Everybody stay quiet. Oh, God.
Oh, hey.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah, we had to shut the power off because we were replacing the breaker panel in the basement.
Yes.
So we replaced it, but when we shut the power off, all the apartments quit.
Yes.
It's what happens, it's normal.
Yes.
So, I gotta reset your breakers.
No.
It'll only take a second.
All right, all right, all right.
Well, I tried calling you, but I didn't get a response.
I've been having trouble with the phone.
Here we go. What was that?
It's a record.
Well, what kind of music?
It's just music, you know, a show, musical.
Do you like musicals?
No.
Oh, I love musicals. My wife and I go all the time. It's crazy what they can do nowadays. Did you see Miss Saigon? They landed a helicopter on the stage in that one. Oh, yeah, I've seen them all. Cats, Mamma Mia, Mean Girls. Although I didn't like the movie better than that one.
Really? Well, goodbye! Well, that's it. It's ruined. One note from the end. The mood is broken. I should just start the record again. No, I can't do that. Can I? Just so frustrating. You don't understand. I love this musical so much and never even seen it. My mother gave me the record. This was before my father left us. Oh, he didn't leave because of the record. Although I'm sure that did not help matters. Look, I know the show is not perfect. The spit take scene is lame. The monkey motif is labored. But none of that matters. It does what a musical is supposed to do. Gives you a little tune to carry around in your head. Takes you to another world. Gives you something to help you escape the dreary horrors of the real world. A little something for when you're feeling